Welcome to the first session of the course. The topic name is what GPT is and why it's needed. We need to understand about the introducing the concept of GPT-3 and the revolutionary language AI model. An intro to ChatGPT, the future of artificial intelligence, we can see here. The field of knowledge models is one of the most exciting and promising as artificial intelligence technology advances. As AI technology continues to advance, language models are becoming one of the most existing and the promising areas of research. OpenAI released a brand new language model called GPT-3, short for Generative Pre-trained Transformer 3, we can say here. An OpenAI language model called GPT-3, and it has just been released and it's amazing. So what is GPT-3? To put that in perspective, GPT-3 only has a 1.5 billion parameters, so it's the largest language model ever made. And GPT-3 has 175 billion parameters, making it the largest language model to date. And GPT-3 is bigger than anything else artificial intelligence has ever seen before. So it can process and understand language in a way no other model can. The key to GPT-3's success is its ability to generate text that looks like human text, and industries like journalism, creative writing, and software development. This could lead to a whole range of automation possibilities. Because the natural language understanding and processing is another big advantages of GPT-3. So compared to previous language models, this one can do some of the tasks like translation, summarization, and questions answering without needing to be specifically trained. Because the GPT-3 is a potential for future development, is perhaps its most exciting future, and considering how big and versatile it is, because it could be used as a foundation for even more advanced AI models, and this could even lead to breakthroughs in areas like language translation and speech recognition process too. A revolution in language artificial intelligence AI, the GPT-3 is gonna change the way we interact with technology forever. With its ability to generate the human like a text and understand the natural language and serve as a foundation for artificial intelligence models in the future, it's a big deal. Okay, the next we need to understand about the ChatGPT introduction process. And generic pre-trained transformer is what GPT stands for, and an artificial intelligent language models developed by OpenAI that's trained on a lot of text data to generate natural language responses. In chatbots, the virtual assistants and other applications that require natural language processing, and the ChatGPT has many potential users. And ChatGPT can be integrated into your own application or integrate with one of the many pre-made chatbot platforms that incorporate the technology. A company might use ChatGPT to create a virtual customer service agent on their website, and alternatively, an individual might use a chatbot platform to make a personal assistant for them. So, what can it be used for? Some potential use cases for the ChatGPT are starting from the you could use ChatGPT to power virtual customer service agents that help companies answer questions and customers' questions. Also, you can consider it would be convenient for customers to get information by integrating these agents into websites, applications, and other platforms. You could use ChatGPT to create personal assistants that answer questions, schedule appointments, and do other stuff also. Using voice powered platforms like Amazon Alexa or Google Assistant, these assistants could be integrated into mobile apps. By detecting the toxic and inappropriate content, ChatGPT could help moderate online communities. So, what about the language translation using with the ChatGPT? Because the ChatGPT would improve machine translation accuracy, making it easier for people to communicate. Okay, how does ChatGPT work internally? We need to understand the processes. It processes and generates text responses using machine learning algorithms and deep learning techniques. A user inputs a message into the chat, and the system first tokenizes it, which means are breaking words and sentences down into the individual ones. And to generate a response, tokens go through a series of layers like the encoder and decoder layers. That's why the ChatGPT's internal architecture uses attention mechanism, and one of its key technical details, by using attention mechanisms, that model is able to focus on specific parts of the input text and generating the contextually relevant responses. In a conversation, previous messages need to be taken into account when generating a response. One of the technical details of ChatGPT's internal architecture as its use of memory models, they let the model remember information from previous messages, which makes it more coherent and consistent, especially useful for long conversations, especially when context and coherence are very critical. If you want to see what GPT can do for you, and you can go to the OpenAI website and try out a couple of sample questions. For example, you could ask about the weather in your area or what the news is about. This is a link for the OpenAI ChatGPT, the https://chat.openai.com/chat. So overall, ChatGPT is a powerful tool for generating text responses in real-time conversations, and its internal architecture combines machine learning algorithms, deep learning techniques, and attention and memory mechanisms to generate accurate and relevant responses. This technology has the potential to revolutionize the way we interact with the chatbots and virtual assistants, providing more natural and human-like conversational experiences. Okay, the next we need to talk about the ChatGPT is an OpenAI text-based tool that seems to be useful for improving language models for conversation. So with the advent of AI technology over the past few years, it has been able to establish a foundation for a number of fields to simplify the process. And we will be discussing the chatbots and improved type of personal assistants that has become quite popular. A conversational AI tool called ChatGPT, by using natural language processing, and ChatGPT understands knowledge, interprets, and enhances users' ability to answer questions. In addition to providing data, the answering inquiries, and even coming up with original content, ChatGPT knows a lot about the different things and can help. With ChatGPT, you can do interesting and educational talks on a variety of topics such as what's happening in the news, sports, and yourself. Adjust to different speech styles and settings, and is easy to use the model. Okay, the next we need to discuss about the how are they different from conventional chatbots. Like conventional chatbots, AI chatbots first determine what the user is saying before responding, and after assessing the user's need, the chatbot will give an accurate answer based on what it knows. By analyzing both accurate and inaccurate responses, the system gradually learns what a proper response is. Because with AI-driven sentence and stance mechanisms, a chatbot can be very effective if it knows the company, its clients, and its settings. So companies like e-commerce and other high-volume firms that require scalability would benefit from using this technology. You can use the ChatGPT to help customers with a bunch of stuff like answering questions, giving product information, and guiding them around a mobile application. You can also use ChatGPT to facilitate social media interactions or come up with the conversation topics. Furthermore, it can also get information through polls or user reviews too. So why ChatGPT is so popular? We have to understand the concept. Because the transformer architecture incorporates self-attention modules, and this AI chatbot can measure the importance of a different phrase or word in each feed. By doing so, the model is better able to understand the context and significance of the intake and give responses that are more cohesive and coherent. There are even feed-forward modules and residual connections, as well as self-attention modules in the transformer architecture. As a result of these elements, the model can reveal more intricate patterns within the data and is able to display connections between different words and sentences more accurately. The second advantage is that ChatGPT can learn a lot from a lot of stuff. It can comprehend how real language flows because it's been pre-trained on a lot of stuff. By doing this, a ChatGPT can deliver responses that aren't just automated or computerized, but human-like, because the pre-training involves feeding the model a big textual dataset, and then training it to predict the next word. By picking up on linguistic patterns and structures, the model can identify the various terms and phrases that are related. So next we need to discuss about the what are ChatGPT's constraints. The problem with the ChatGPT is that it can sometimes provide inaccurate information, but it will sometimes explicitly tell you about them, and which is sometimes helpful. When the user questions the writer of, "Shall I compare you to a summer's day?" it replied, "I'm sorry, but I can't get outside information other than what I have been trained on." So what are the final thoughts we need to understand? So ultimately, ChatGPT is one of the most popular chatbot tools and is also a popular AI tool. With the help of developments in artificial intelligence, including transformer architecture and extensive pre-training, it generates responses that are human-like and engages in more dynamic and diverse discussion with the users. Because of its flexibility, it can give consumers pertinent and accurate information in different situations and contexts. Knowing its limitation and applying them correctly is key to getting the most effective results. It's very critical to carefully choose pre-processing data for training, to be aware of any biases or inaccuracies, and to think about how much computational power a model needs. Okay, the next we need to talk about the how marketers can use ChatGPT. In terms of marketing, ChatGPT has a lot to offer, even though, especially when it comes to writing and content marketing. Using the tool, marketers and writers can find reliable and repeatable information about any given topic instantly. This tool offers time savings and resource saving materials that can boost the final product for writers covering a wide range of topics and industries. Also, ChatGPT lets you manage your customers, responding promptly to their questions and engaging with them and with the digital audience. And customer support workers can spend their time elsewhere if ChatGPT is used to answer general questions. And several Chrome extensions have already been released that let brands and Twitter users make ChatGPT bots that answer everything. You know, here are a few ways of marketing pros and can use the ChatGPT and other AI tech in combination with their skills and industry knowledge. So taking AI into account as a tool, and one's toolbox reduces the harm that technology like this can cause to an industry. It's a very critical to remember that these AI technologies aren't always 100% accurate when used them, because the programs aren't reliable factual, according to Paul Zaleski on LinkedIn has been explained that, and they can misspell words, misuse math, and make false claims. And to make use of these tools effectively, markets need to account for these errors and do a lot of research we need. So the harm of AI in marketing, we have to understand the process. There is no doubt that AI tech is advancing quickly and seamlessly into our digital lives, and many marketing pros are wondering how this will affect the world of marketing despite the many benefits and usable features of this tool. Because the marketing professionals are worried about automation and job redundancy as these tools grow in popularity, there is no getting around the fact that AI technologies can be priced way below market value. So freelancers have a lot to contend with, and freelancers have a lot of experience and training and networking process too. So they are pretty awesome since these tools trend on major social media platforms like Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. It's difficult to compare this value to those tools. There have been a lot of artificial intelligence tools popping up on social media lately because customers were able to get customized AI portraits for $10 to $15 from a new way of AI generated art. This resulted in thousands of portraits, and graphic designers lost work and their commissions too. So that's why, apart from ethical concerns, AI generated images and essays are not safe from plagiarism and accusation either. Some of the products might be unique, but they are all curated by third parties that can't give citations or references. It's difficult to provide specific states and credit sources for the information you give in a research paper or content. That's why people can create very similar products using the same prompts and questions. Okay, I'm not sure that what the internet thinks about these because artificial intelligence tools, but I'm sure it's divided over their benefits and drawbacks here. Welcome to the second lecture of the course. The topic name is what ChatGPT can do, its most effective uses and its limitations. We need to understand about the 11 things you can do with the ChatGPT because the ChatGPT is not just fun to use, it also has practical applications. According to Timothy has been explained that a lot of people have been wowed by AI writing tools and AI text to image generators and even AI self portraits in the last few years. Now, ChatGPT, a chatbot used on artificial intelligence, is giving us a look at its potential. So, check out these 11 ways you can use the ChatGPT if you have heard about it but don't know how to use it there. So, what is GPT? We need to understand. I will catch you up with the ChatGPT, a chatbot designed via conversational artificial intelligence that answers just about any questions you have. Because the Google search on steroids and you won't get as much information as you would from Google. In spite of that, it presents information in an almost conversational and structured way, like what a person would do when answering a question. You can find answers in just about any field too: science, math, religions, sports, politics, you name it. So, what are the 11 things you can do with the ChatGPT? We have to concentrate now. And what are the real world uses of ChatGPT beyond the hype and buzz? Are you ready to explore? Here are 11 cool examples I would like to examine. And starting from the number one is to quickly write a customized resume and a cover letter. It's challenging to write a resume and a cover letter for every day, every job you apply for, especially if you are currently job hunting. It's impossible to create one copy for every job because you can create a resume online in just a few seconds with ChatGPT. It takes you out of the burden of customizing each resume for every job posting because the ChatGPT wrote a technical writer resume, and here's what they came up with. This is an example. We also checked her to write a cover letter for a job applications for a fashion design firm's web developer position. Okay, the second one is create original jokes. And how fun would life be without a touch of fun? If you want to laugh or make funny jokes, ChatGPT can help because despite the fact that AI chatbots don't exactly have a well-deserved reputation for being entertaining the comics, and the ChatGPT shows some potential. We asked ChatGPT to make a joke about foldable smartphones and Apple. This is an example. And third will be on explain complex topics. You can't always get a clear understanding from Google alone. And think of topics like wormholes, dark matter, and all those explaining theories from your master's program. Or perhaps there is a weird sport you don't understand. There's a video showing how ChatGPT explained wormholes to us like we were five. We also asked it to explain in internet in the same way. This is an example. And the fourth will be on solve tricky math problems step by step process. You can use ChatGPT to solve problems and solve algebra problems or simple math problems that are too difficult to handle on your own. To get the most effective results, you have to present your problems clearly and concisely. So we asked ChatGPT to solve a simple but tough math problem. Here's what he got. This is example. And fifth one is get relationship advice. In the same way that any artificial intelligence system cannot really understand the emotions, because the ChatGPT can still help you with your relationships with the friends, family, and the loved ones. If you get it the right prompts, it can be your personal therapist. Here's how ChatGPT says you can handle a nosy partner. Also, we asked how to deal with a partner overprotecting their phone, and it said this is an example. And sixth will be on write music in almost any genre. And one of ChatGPT's greatest strength is its learned creativity. Unlike some AI solutions, ChatGPT doesn't just deal with the soulless robotic concept, and you can write any song in just about any major genre. ChatGPT wrote a rap song about Elon Musk, and here's what it sounds like. I don't think it will win a Grammy, but a catchy beat might make it a hit. This is example. And sound will be on write, debug, and explain code. There are bound to be bugs in your code, and whether you are an experienced programmer or a newbie, and ChatGPT can help you pinpoint your code issue and saving your hours looking for a misplaced comma. You can also write whole blocks or functional code snippets from scratch. You might not want a ChatGPT code in production. Here's what ChatGPT came up with after we asked, and we also asked it to figure out the JavaScript bug. And this is example, and it will be on create content in multiple languages. It's super easy to create content in multiple languages with the ChatGPT. So if you are a content creator who would love to reach a broader audience, you are gonna love it. That's a Google Translate, sure, but you will lose a lot of context and tone if you write in one language and translate it into another. The ChatGPT app can generate content in several languages. Chinese, no problem. Spanish, no problem. We asked the ChatGPT to write a poem in Chinese and English. Ninth will be on prepare for a job interview. The several fields of knowledge make ChatGPT one of the leading AI tools for preparing for a job interview. It's helpful for generating hypothetical scenarios during an interview, possible questions, intelligent answers to those questions, and many other interview preparation tricks. And ChatGPT helps us with hypothetical situations during an interview. 10th will be on write essays on almost any topic. They have a team of expert writers can write essays on a wide range of topics, even the most complex ones. So our team and asked the ChatGPT to write an essay about Donald Trump, and here's what they came up with. This is example. And 11th will be on a chat companion. It's an AI chatbot that can handle a lot of situations despite its endless potential. Because the ChatGPT is a very accommodating companion when you need someone or a robot, and you can trust the ChatGPT results, but make sure you verify them. ChatGPT is an incredibly accurate AI chatbot, but it can still fall prey to inaccuracies. Although the rate at which ChatGPT provides inaccurate information isn't alarming. We recommend you double check what it says before you use it. So while ChatGPT is a game-changing AI product, it's still a lot of work in progress. So don't use the information it generates for health or financial decisions mode. Peralta has been explained that putting off a major project, you could soon ask a bot to do it for you and trust that it will be done right the first time. Tech-driven features may sound too good to be future in true mode, but it's closer than you think. IBM recently conducted a study that found 35% of companies are actively using artificial intelligence to do their jobs, and 42% are still exploring its potential. In the future, employees will be able to use virtual assistants to do their jobs, and voice assistants provided and powered by AI are predicted to reach 8 billion users by the year of 2023. So usually you have to Google things and read them and do something with them, says Ricardo Michael Reyes has been explained about the process, and you will have their resources to process everything on the internet for you to find the answer to your question. Now the kind of technology is already out there. The artificial intelligence company OpenAI released ChatGPT in the year of 2021 to 22. It's an interactive chatbot that can do everything and anything from typing out a text response for someone to composing an entire dissertation. Whenever you give the chatbot a command, it takes no longer than a few minutes to process it. The workplace can and will benefit from those capabilities, says Reyes, and who regularly uses AI-powered assistants to answer work emails or read long reports and highlight key points. In addition, he uses it to write computer codes so he can copy and paste them whenever he needs them. So rather than train people to do certain things anymore, he says he will teach them how to use AI tools to do them. Before, managers had to train people to make PowerPoints. Now they don't need them to know how to use PowerPoints, just understand enough to ask the AI the right questions. There is no doubt that innovations like this can reduce training time and make workers more efficient and capable. But success depends on how managers integrate technology and if they prioritize the human side. Because the artificial intelligence doesn't have free will, Reyes explains, it still needs someone to tell it what the PowerPoint is about and what comes first, what colors and fonts to use. It's common for employers to think tool is enough on its own, or they don't need to retain people because it can turn out wrong. There are just many things that go wrong as things that run off the well. So humans and especially managers are responsible for making sure that people know how to use it. So despite the possibility of job loss, Rice says that the risks don't outweigh the positive effects. AI powered voice assistants could have and could save a lot of time and energy. They could minimize cost and maximize productivity. If employees don't have to be so specialized, it could even lead to more hiring. The next step for employers is to educate themselves by talking to experts in the field and their own employees. AI companies have made tons of tutorial videos about how their tools work and how to use them. This is so organizations can get a better understanding of whether the technology is designed to help them. So tell them humans are always evolving and they will find better ways to do things. You can walk anywhere, but a car will get you there faster, Rice said. Okay, the next we need to understand about how ChatGPT utilizes the advancements and developments in the artificial intelligence sector to create a revolutionary language model. So developed by OpenAI, ChatGPT is a variant of GPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformer, a popular language model. It's designed especially for chatbots and other conversational AI apps. A lot of chatbots and conversational AI apps are being used these days, but from customer service to language translation to virtual assistants, in order to use these applications, AI model have to understand and generate natural language, and ChatGPT is one of the leading models. So during this session also we are looking to figure out how ChatGPT works and how it uses artificial intelligence, and we will talk about the transformer architecture that underlies ChatGPT and how it can learn from big data and how it can adapt. Okay, the next we need to understand about here's the transformer architecture. The transformer architecture is one of the key advances in AI that ChatGPT uses. So according to Vaswani et al. Has been explained that introduced the transformer architecture in the year 2017 research. Attention is all you need because the transformer architecture is able to process long sequences of data efficiently. It's well suited for natural language processing tasks like translation and text generation. The transformer architecture consists of self-attention layers, and which let the model weigh the transformation and importance of different words or phrases in each input. By doing this, this model gets a better sense of context and meaning, and it can generate more coherent responses. The transformer architecture also includes feed-forward layers and residual connections, and which allows it to learn more complex patterns in data and better capture relationships between words and phrases. Then next we need to talk about the large scale pre-training. Besides learning from large amounts of data, ChatGPT is also effective at learning from large amounts of data. In order for ChatGPT to generate responses that are more human-like and less robotic, it has been pre-trained on a massive dataset of text. A large dataset of text is fed to the model before pre-training so that it can learn the patterns and structure of language as well as the relationships between different words and phrases. So what about the adaptability to different context and situation? We need to discuss now, as well as its ability to adapt to different context and situations. ChatGPT can understand the context of a conversation and generate appropriate responses based on the context. So this allows it to have more natural and varied conversations with others. It might give a user the current weather or a forecast for the coming days. If a user asks about the weather, they can understand, and the chatbots can understand context changes and provide the right information if a user asks about the weather in a different location. So what about the use cases we have to concentrate from the ChatGPT? The GPT can be used to create chatbots that can have natural and engaging conversation with users and translating text from one language to another, because with the GPT users can communicate in different language easier, and user GPT to summarize long pieces of text makes it easier for users to digest the main points. So you can use GPT to complete sentences and paragraphs, so you can write more efficiently and correctly. So content creation, according to the mode, GPT lets you create articles, stories, and other written content quickly. So what are the limitation of the GPT? However, ChatGPT has a few limitations for chatbots and other conversational AI apps, because a big problem with the ChatGPT is that it relies too much on text to train. Despite the fact that this data set allows the ChatGPT to understand natural language patterns and structure, it doesn't always reflect the diversity of language and experiences in real life. Because of this, ChatGPT might have trouble understanding and responding to inputs that are much different from what it was trained on. A model's performance can be inconsistent and responses may be inappropriate or unrelated to the user's input. There is another issue with the ChatGPT we have to say here, because machine learning algorithms are only as good as the data they are trained on. Therefore, if the training data is biased or has errors, ChatGPT may reproduce those biases or errors. When it comes to sensitive or conversational and controversial topics, the model's responses can reinforce and stereotypes or misinformations. When using ChatGPT or any other machine learning model, it's imperative to take the quality and the diversity of training data into account. So one more thing is we have to explain here. ChatGPT has is its complexity and computational demands. The model is really big, so it may be difficult to use on certain devices or in certain applications too. A model that is too resource intensive for low power or mobile devices can be a big deal, particularly when resources are limited. So we have to conclude some information here. A powerful chatbot and the conversational AI application, ChatGPT, yes, we have to understand, but by leveraging advances in AI such as a transformer architecture and a larger scale training, it generates the human like responses and engages user in more natural and varied conversations. Because of its ability to adapt to understand the context and the situations, it can provide users with accurate level and relevant information in a variety of situations. Additionally, you need to consider the limitation of the program and use it correctly to get effective results. When choosing which applications the model is appropriate for, it's very critical to carefully select and pre-process the training data. In addition, it's imperative to be aware of biases or errors and to consider the computational demands of the model. The benefits of ChatGPT and other AI models can be maximized by understanding and addressing these limitation process. Okay, my fourth lecture of the topic. The topic name is Business References and Sources, how to use and build them using with ChatGPT. So according to Gartner report, 81% of business executives consider AI a mainstream technology. A report also says that organizations using AI could see a 25% of increase in customer satisfaction by the year of 2023, especially now that advances in technologies and revolutionary chatbots like ChatGPT can generate human-like text in conversational context. So businesses and AI technologies are poised to grow. With these unique capabilities, ChatGPT makes for an extremely useful tool, especially when automating customer interactions. So find out how to use ChatGPT for business and how to reap its benefits. An open AI language model called ChatGPT is based on GPT-3 and uses a natural language processing NLP. It can understand and respond to conversational input. As a pre-trained language model, ChatGPT relies on a huge database of training data to understand the structure and the pattern of natural language. At the end, it generates more coherent answers, which help it create articles, screenplays, stories, and other text process. It can also generate code and other technical stuff too. ChatGPT now has natural language processing capabilities, so companies are starting to consider using it for business purposes like content marketing, customer service, and personalization, among others. So, what are the benefits of ChatGPT in businesses we need to discuss now? In order to improve their product offering, service delivery, and scalability, businesses are constantly looking for effective, because the cost effective ways to do it. AI automates, takes up and provides valuable insights. So 91% of leading businesses invest in it on a regular basis. There are a lot of benefits to using ChatGPT in businesses that aren't available with other chatbots on the market. So second will be on boost your productivity with the ChatGPT. We have to discuss the process. 60% of employees are productive, and office workers only work about 2.5 hours a day, which is pretty terrible. Businesses that want to stay competitive need to figure out how to keep their employees working. So business productivity can be improved by automating a variety of tasks using ChatGPT. So ChatGPT can save your employees time so they can concentrate on more strategic things. And ChatGPT can create email campaigns and social media posts, handle customer complaints, and generate reports too. And ChatGPT can also help employees stay engaged by automating routine tasks like content creation process, report generation, or translation method, and the data analysis process, so they can stay focused for longer. So, what about the lead generation and marketing with ChatGPT for businesses? The create content that generate leads, create engaging content that resonates with your target audience, and get inspired to create content are some of the biggest challenges content marketers face. And you can use ChatGPT to help content marketers solve some of these problems. For instance, you can use it to generate marketing and content such as product descriptions and email campaigns process. By learning a business marketing materials, ChatGPT can generate content consistent with its brand and voice based on machine learning. And the content marketing with ChatGPT can also be done by providing the personalized recommendation and content. You can use the language model to create personalized content that's relevant and engaging based on user data and behavior. With the ChatGPT, you can engage visitors and help them find what they are looking for by building it into your chatbots. If they use ChatGPT, they can also include a pre-made questionnaire. It persuades site visitors to get leads, which ultimately leads to more conversion process. You will get it. So the next we need to concentrate about ChatGPT in businesses and better customer service process. So next we need to talk about the ChatGPT in businesses, better customer service. With the ChatGPT's natural language processing capabilities, it can understand and respond to customer requests naturally and conversationally, almost as well as a human. The ChatGPT system can also handle many customer requests at once, so businesses don't have to add more staff and can scale their customer service operations more efficiently. The ChatGPT can also be used in business for collecting customer data so they can get insights into customer wants and needs. So data can also be used to improve products, services, and the customer experiences too. So what are the business uses ChatGPT? First one is personal use only, and you can use ChatGPT for business quickly and easily thanks to its minimalistic interface. It means it works such as like regular messaging applications or where you type in text and press enter, but instead of sending a message you get an answer. This language model is made for conversations, so you don't have to type long blocks of text every time you have to like a follow-up questions. Instead you can casually talk to it and it will follow along. If you start a new chat, you will need to click the new chat button at the top left of the page to erase the details of your previous conversation. So what about the designed for web developers benefits? Despite not being a requirement, and marketers should learn how to code. Coding skills make marketers more effective, and ChatGPT is very useful for creating small pieces of code or debugging a setting of code. Starting from to use it personally, developers need an OpenAI and API key to access the model. You can install ChatGPT on your system by following these steps, starting from the create an OpenAI account on the website. To create a website and customize the API key, it means browse through the selection on the API page, copy and store your API key so you can access the model anytime. If you are coding in Python, you will need to install the OpenAI Python package to access the model. You can market your content with ChatGPT. So the ChatGPT is already being used by many content marketers. It generates compelling content marketing copy of articles, email campaigns, and even newsletters. That said, even though the ChatGPT is one of the most effective language models out there, it has a few shortcomings, and these include being overly wordy, and overusing certain phrases and giving the same answer to multiple users for the same query. So it's not a personal enough. In order to effectively use ChatGPT for content marketing, content marketers need to provide a domain language, ask the right questions, and review text. So the ChatGPT for businesses can be set up like this. Sign up for an OpenAI account on the website. ChatGPT can be configured when you prefer the tone, language, and response time. Embrace the model on your social media channels or website. Specify prompts or queries and the model will respond. Ensure relevance and accuracy by reviewing and editing your response. As needed, repeat the process to help with content creation, customer inquiries, and information gathering. So what about the business ChatGPT and final thoughts we need to consider? And business has changed forever with the ChatGPT. It can streamline customer service, generate leads, and even generate marketing content. Additionally, because ChatGPT can adapt and learn from its interactions, it's a key asset for any company looking to boost productivity, enhance user experience, and stay competitive. This is all without breaking the bank with overwhelming and overhead costs. Working on the same language model technology underpinning ChatGPT, yes, but not as flashily. Still, for two developer conferences now, it's been giving central building to its work on natural language understanding (NLU) and large language models. At IBOR 2021, Google unveiled Lambda language model for dialogue applications. Its most advancement conversational AI yet. It's still in R&D, but it will talk about anything using a paper airplane and Pluto as example. Google wanted to show how Lambda picks up on a lot of the nuances that differentiate open-ended conversation, including sensible and specific responses that encourage further discussions. Besides interestingness, Google likes factuality, like sticking to the facts and wittiness. With the AI Test Kitchen app, Google began being the public try out three specific examples of Lambda to a year later. So second will be on MUM, it means multitask unified model. Besides Lambda, Google has highlighted multimodal models that allow people to naturally ask questions across different types of information with MUM, it means multitask unified model. It's noteworthy that Google gave an example query that can't be answered today by your search engine, but that's something this upcoming technology can answer. This is the rainy season on MT Fuji is water resistant, so waterproof gear is needed. MUM understand that you are comparing two mountains. It could surface articles written in Japanese where there is more local info, but the most impressive example was more or less tied to Google Lens. This will still an explanatory query, and however, Google announced that it was adding MUM to Lens. This is so you could snap a picture of a broken point and broken part of your bicycle and get instruction on how to fix it. This is some example I have to say here. So third will be on PaLM. It means a pathways language model. The pathway language model can answer questions if MUM allows questions to be asked in a variety of media, and Lambda can continue conversations. Unlike the current highly individualized approach, it uses a next generation AI architecture called pathways. This is understanding we have to discuss today about the PaLM, Lambda, and MUM model along the Google process. Okay, my dear students, I hope you have enjoyed the fifth session of the topic ChatGPT features and does Google have something